had an accident and I woke up 35 years in the past.
Who's Sam Tyler and what's he going through?
Is this why I'm here?
Who knows why Sam Tyler's here and if we're really in 73 or 2008.
Uncovering the mystery is really what it's about.
Maybe 2008 is the illusion, but 1973 is the reality.
Sam's question is, what am I doing here?
What I need to do, Annie, is to follow the Yellowbrick Road.
Sam's journey is one of discovery.
It's a journey that all of us could relate to.
If you can't find what you're looking for here, then you must have already found it.
Peeling back the layers of the onion and discovering week by week what was happening to him.
You seem okay.
This notion that you're some kind of a time traveler notwithstanding.
Sam could be traveling through time.
We just don't know if it's in his mind or if it's real.
He could be in a coma and it could all be in his head.
Clearly, Detective Tyler here is dizzier than a monkey on a merry-go-round.
There are other mysteries within mysteries that are revealed.
I'm sick of this cosmic joke that everyone seems to be in on but me.
Nobody knows what's in store.
That must be why I'm here.
Everything is a clue, and it all ties together.
Everything is connected.
What the heck is really going on with Sam Tyler?
Hey, Mark. Okay, ready? And action!
We were all fans of the original BBC series. I always wonder when people adapt series from another country, why they change so much. People feel the need to always adapt it beyond and sort of take the bones of what it is away, and maybe that stuck because we felt like we've been fairly loyal to what the BBC series was.
I'm awake. I'm awake! Look at me! Don't leave me here, please.
It was really, really intimidating. We wrote the script. Everybody loved it. So we were feeling good, but it wasn't until the creators of the BBC version called us up and they were just like, guys, you nailed it, and I wish we thought of that, and you did that one better than we did. The minute we got their validation, I was like, we're on to something.
Because this show was adapted from the BBC, we knew that they had their ending, we needed ours, and we wanted to really figure out what it would be so we could drop hints along the way. So when we got to the ending, look, you always know that some people are gonna love it, some people are gonna hate it when you give any ending to a series. But we at least wanted to be able to say we were consistent, and I think we were.
Whichever strange place you land in, make that your home.
So if you guessed it right, then congratulations. If you didn't, I hope you're, surprised pleasantly. And I think even if you guess what's happening to him, you won't guess the full picture.
It's very much keeping in spirit of the piece because it still has mythology in it, and it still has that kind of time travel aspect to it that's somewhat believable.
Half the people who are watching will be thrilled and delighted and love the ending. And the other half will be sort of enraged, like, how could it be this? But isn't that what endings are? Endings always polarize people one way or the other.
That explains everything.
The biggest key to everything on this show in terms of the look of it, from the wardrobe to the production design, up and down the realm, is that we didn't want this show to be one that was commenting on the 70s, like looking at it from the outside and sort of commenting on it. We wanted to make it a show that felt like it was living kind of organically within the era.
Yeah, he's in the military, unbelievable. What next?
As we do the research for these episodes about what was happening at that time in 1973, it was amazing. We were in an unpopular war, we had an unpopular president, there was a gas crisis, problems that still exist today.
Increasing the domestic.
Just resign already, will you?
It is easier to talk about them in a historical context.
It's like Guantanamo Bay in here.
I wouldn't know, I've never been to Puerto Rico. If you're not seeing the parallels, then we didn't do our job right.
That's just great.
I detect sarcasm. How would you do it where you come from?
In the 125th precinct, it's a decidedly politically incorrect environment.
It was tricky. The methods in which they solved crimes in 1973 was completely different.
The lieutenant sort of taking swings at people during interrogations.
You gotta be kidding me.
Back then, if you wanted to find out who the killer was, you'd grab the most likely suspect, hold him up against the wall, threaten to burn a cigarette in his eye, and hope that he confesses.
You broke my cousin Davy's collarbone at that war protest down on Bank Street.
Or as I like to refer to it, the good old days.
I mean, I guess in the past, it was just a lot more people were, more small-minded.
Their system was a way that worked. It helped them put guys away, and it kept the streets as safe as they could keep them.
If the ends justified the means, then that was okay, That's not okay anymore.
It's amazing how much you could get away with back then and how you could never get away with that now.
We're just having fun, all right?
So am I.
Okay, well, I think I've had enough fun here. You gonna be okay by yourself?
Yes.
we started the project and we're putting it together, we're putting all the pieces, I, in my wildest dreams, didn't think we'd have the cast we had.
When we started the casting process and, the studio said to us, who do you want? We said, this is who we want. And they said, okay, good luck. And amazingly, they all came to play.
Good. Let's go. Sam essentially is every man. There's a line from the BBC version of Life on Mars, which we borrow later on in the season, which is, whichever strange place you find yourself in, make that your home.
Unreal.
I think a lot of people can relate to what he's going through because everybody at some stage in their lives goes through upheaval and massive change.
What do you care? I'm not real, remember? As soon as I walk out that door, poof, I'm gone. Magic, huh? Annie Norris. She's a part of the Police Women's Bureau, and her goal is to become a detective, or as I am so fondly referred to here in the old 125.
No, not Norse.
She is struggling, I think, with negotiating her way in this very male world, and not only is it a very male world, but there's also no rules at this point.
Ms. Norris is a psych degree from Fordham.
Yeah, well, I have an ass that can fart the melody of every Peter, Paul, and Mary song ever recorded. Do I get to stand up there, too? Ray is a New York City guy. Grew up in the streets. He's not too happy with Sam's arrival.
What do you think? This is the guy they want to bump up instead of you?
Yeah, tell me about it. Well, and at the same time, Sam has these kind of strange ideas that are from the future, which Ray doesn't know, but he just kind of thinks he's a flake on top of it.
I will burn you down, and I will bag your ashes, and I will bury your ashes in the yard where my big dog craps big crap.
What I like about Ray and what I like about the scenes between Sam and Ray are that they're both essentially men of their time.
The trick is to never be in judgment of the 1973 characters because they don't know, what they're doing is wrong.
Some place he has to go to bed at night and make peace with himself. I definitely think he thinks he's doing good work for the city and trying to protect people from bad guys, and he does do that.
You have some pretty unorthodox investigative methods.
What can I say? I'm an artist.
Lieutenant Hunt, Harvey's character, endured the 60s, the cultural upheaval of the 60s, and I think they sort of had hoped that it would have blown over, like that it was a fad.
Damn technology. What is all this crap? There's no way to do honest police work.
And Sam thinks that this stuff's gonna bring down Richard Nixon.
Oh, really?
Play Detective Chris Skelton. He's the rookie of the squad. There's the old school way of doing things like Ray and Gene do it, but now Sam comes in and he brings a new way of thinking and a new way of operating and solving cases, which, I mean, at the end of the day is their job and what they're after. So he's kind of caught in the middle. He doesn't know which guys to kind of side with.
And it's sort of, is he gonna go towards the darkness or towards the light, as it were?
Where the hell did he go, Chris?
We weren't really serious about shooting, were we?
We've gone to great lengths because they did this in the BBC version, and we really tried to stay close to the BBC version, is our framing and our scope is a lot wider and lower and more graphic. Now, to do that, you have to find locations to match that.
When you say 1973 cop show, to us, it had to be set in New York.
New York is, there's never been a major overhaul of the city, so you can go to different neighborhoods and find elements of 1973 that work really well.
Every time we set up our frame, we find a location, we cast that way. Just everything we do, we go, does this look like the 70s? How do we paint that picture? And it's a huge undertaking.
The challenge of recreating the 70s was a daily thing when we went out on the streets and tried to find vistas that didn't have skyscrapers, that didn't have street signs.
Definitely don't want to be on a street where you see a Starbucks in the background.
Even the graffiti was different. So there were so many instances where we'd look at a frame and, we'd be shooting away and all of a sudden we'd realize, oh my God, that graffiti is too modern for that shot.
But we have tricks to block those out of frame.
And I'm just going to be going around and around.
Where?
In the middle of the road.
Right in the middle of the street?
Yeah.
Wow.
As you come out, we'll get all the cars out. It's going to be desolate, okay?
Traffic lights.
No, paint them out. Don't worry about that.
I love shooting in our police precinct.
It was just amazing to walk onto that set. It's big, It's huge, and the level of detail is incredible.
The old typewriters.
Duplicates are very hard to find. If we needed a second one of that typewriter, we'd probably be out of luck. It's one of the perils of doing a period show.
Of course, we live in an era of, computers and internet and Blackberries.
We notice when you look around in 2008, there's not a lot of paper around. It's a paperless world, and we're so used to texting and emailing. There's not a lot of one-on-one communication.
As we're set in 1973, paperwork, paperwork, paperwork. No way to escape it.
Stacks of paper, boxes of paper, files, shelves of paper, just paper everywhere.
We had a great person on set, Jim Nucifero, who is our consultant.
I worked with many different divisions of the production. I worked with props, things just such as guns, holsters, ammunition pouches, all that has changed over the years. So I knew all the old equipment, and I knew where to still purchase that old equipment.
This ammunition holder and this holster was used in 1973.
And props did a lot of research on their own.
I was working in film in 1973 in New York, so I was familiar with it. We looked at everything we possibly could. We looked at movies of the period. We looked at television footage. We went every possible direction to find out what life really was like in that period. The property master has a very particularly difficult time with the cars because sometimes we need two cars, identical, because we're going to wreck one, blow one up.
We have Sam Tyler's car. We came up with the color that we wanted. It's sort of this mustardy, very 70s color with the trim on it. It's pretty great.
It's a car that a lot of people say, oh, I had one of those, or even like my mom had a Chevelle. The only thing we added to the inside was the 8-track. We used that in the first episode.
This is not my car. I was driving a Jeep.
You were driving a military vehicle?
God bless our hair, makeup, and wardrobe people. I mean, every time we have a street scene and there's anywhere from 50 to 300 extras.
We dress anywhere from 250 to 400 actors per episode in period clothes. So actually in every 8 days, we sometimes do more clothes than you do in a major motion picture.
This really takes me back to my childhood in an amazing way when I look at the set. And my dad wore a lot of those ties that I see our cops walking around with. As a matter of fact, I just said to our wardrobe, I said, my dad's got about 300 ties in his closet that my mom refused to let him wear, so I should bring those in.
Sometimes people will find pieces, whether it's set dressing or props or hair or makeup, they'll have an inspiration that's outside of the box they get very excited about, and we're all excited with them and for them.
At the end of the day, everybody is here to make this place look like it looks, and it's no small task to come in here week in and week out and recreate 1973.
I'll see you around, Detective.
Wait, that's it?
These actors, and Jason, Harvey, Michael, all, they put so much thought into it. They bring so much to it that as a director, you're coming into it and it's already at this great level that then playing with them and shaping it and building the scenes is incredibly rewarding.
And Thursday is top secret.
Thursday, what we're shooting is...
We had a great time. It's just a wonderful bunch of actors and crew people. And a lot of laughs.
It really did feel like a whole other world. It's been fun.
This cast is as admirable as any I've worked with.
It's really nice to be able to go into an environment where these people are at the level that they're at.
Good times, Chris. All right.
Being included in the stellar group that we have is really something very special.
It's been exciting. It's been weird. It's been unexpected.
That's Josh Applebaum. He's the other executive producer.
Executive producer and boo-boo kisser.
I don't think I could ever write a straight cop show, and I don't think I could ever write a straight science fiction show. And it's the fact that we get to sort of do both, this crazy stem cell smirch of these two genres, which is really, really fun for all of us, I think.
If this was just a 1973 cop show, that would be one thing. But to take the mythological elements that we have, the humanity, the humor, and the heart, and have it all mixed up into this odd little universe that we call Life on Mars, it's a pretty incredible journey to be on.
They say it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, and that's really what's been fun about this.